with God, and I would say you just said yes. Here's a question.
I would say yes.
Okay. Sheldan, was it their ship that wrecked in Roswell?
No, it wasn't.
Whose was it? Weather balloon?
Well, back then, we now have to remember this is pre-1994, and I'll have to kind of give some background information here so that everybody can be brought up to where I'm at and understand where I'm coming from. So what they told me was that there's a light and a dark energy in this galaxy. The dark energy in this galaxy is called by the beings who were under it as Anchara, which is relatively similar to what we might call a dark force. I'm going to really say Satan or anything like that because it's a dark force.
All right.
Satan is a whole other different concept. So when this dark force energy saw what was happening on this planet, because they've been monitoring our planet from the very beginning, they began bringing in ships for observation. And Roswell was a ship that had basically been knocked down by this wideband radar that the United States was then, at that time, practicing after World War II. There were a number of ships that were brought down. And so this was one of these Zeta Reticuli ships that crashed there,
Okay.
and along with a few others.
Oh, there were multiple ship crashes. Okay. Did the United States government get live aliens out of that?
Yep.
Are they still alive?
No.
Okay.
They have, the original ones are gone, or else were basically rotated back to where they came from. And the ones that they were dealing with were, of course, generations down the road from that original aspect. As you know, there was contact and all kinds of secret treaties and things done between the late 40s and the period of roughly the early 80s.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to mention Bill Cook's name on the air, but a writer wants to know, how long until the party with the aliens begin?
Hopefully within the next decade. Hopefully, from what I've heard, it should be before 2012.
Okay. Now, do you see 2012 as a marker in time? What relevance does that have?
To the minds, it's a shift between the present time and the new time. And by the new time, they actually mean the new abundant world of peace and harmony. So to me, from what they have told me, and this is just my own guess because they haven't given me a date, is that it would happen before 2012. Because December 2012, actually the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere of 2012, December 21st, is supposed to be the switch from the old time to the new time. So to me, before that date, we should have contact, and a lot of things on the positive note should have started to happen.
Okay. Well, I guess we can start looking for that. That's not too far off there. Now, Sheldan, are you one to subscribe to the idea that Jesus came from a planet or a constellation?
I tend to look upon him, as an extraterrestrial soul, a master from another world that came here to help in the whole process of shifting us from where we were back then, a very barbaric period, to a period where we are beginning to shift as a people. There are still even more barbarities and wars that are going on, but I'm saying as a people, as a whole, people are shifting more and more toward wanting peace and harmony than they are before. They were much more divisive. Now,
are the aliens aware of the human genetic animal experiments that's going on?
Well, there are all kinds of things that the government is playing around with. Are you talking about these so-called mutilation things, et cetera?
Well, I understand there's also much more than that. I meant the combining of the DNA between, say, pigs and rats and humans, try to make them to come into some sort of self-consciousness. But I'm just asking in general terms, do they know that the humans are getting into really sort of dark experiments to bring
forth
forth
all the secret government projects? They do.
They do. Okay. And are there is there any project that they would interfere with? I mean, they obviously didn't stop Hiroshima from happening, and now the spreading of nuclear weapons over there in Iran and Iraq area. Are they interested in stopping that, or are they going to let it go and we're going to fire some nukes?
What they're making sure is that there's no more nuclear activities on this planet in terms of a warlike exchange. They kept that from happening during the Cold War, and they're intending to keep that going. They've basically told everybody in the governments that there's no nuclear option.
What gives the aliens the right to interfere with us nuking ourselves? I mean, they're not our masters, are they?
they're just overseers as far as heaven allows them to be, and they've told them what they can do and what they can't do. And one of the things that is that the basic shift from limited consciousness to full consciousness cannot be interfered with, and a nuclear war would vastly interfere with that, with massive genetic problems, etc.
Okay, so you're saying they missed the opportunity to stop Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
The Hiroshima thing was very limited, and it was part of a process to end World War II, and also to bring in the final aspect of testing of this dark side of our world, these dark governments, dark cabals, and that was what that was all about, because it brought as they expected, it brought them in a full way, because after the Zedites came in, all the different Orionites, etc., there was a massive influx of beings from all the dark empires in the near neighborhood of planet Earth that were involved with major governments on this planet. They have been now for decades.
Okay.
And that was, of course, stopped about 10 years ago.
Okay. We have this really nice comment for you. It says, "Hi, Sheldon. It was great meeting you and Colleen here in Dallas in November of 2001. And evidently you signed your first contact book for them. And I guess they also bought your Galactic Neighbors. Their question is, do you foresee any kind of delay or setbacks for the NESARA announcement of mass landings?"
Oh, the NESARA thing. No, I don't see any delays. It's all coming in what's right divine time, and that timing, of course, since it's divine, we can't really name it per se, but it's very close.
Mm-hmm. And what does the acronym NESARA stand for?
Okay, we'll get into that now. NESARA simply it stands for a program for economic stabilization and recovery, which simply means the changing of our economic system from what it is now. In other words, debt forgiveness, the end of which means the end of all credit card debt, mortgages, and the banking system completely shifts over, and we have a hard currency system, and there's also a change in our governments, and we then move to a hard currency system, and we also move to a different kind of banking system, which is more benevolent than the present one, which is a very cold and greedy system.
Yeah,
so the result is we then also move into prosperity, because there's vast amounts of money that would then be sent around the world to different people initially in the programs, and it would eventually, over a 6-month period, lead to worldwide permanent abundance. So there would be a large shift, and of course all the major governments that are now involved in maintaining the old system would be gone.
Okay. All right. Now, we have this question in from Fast Blast. It says, do you believe that our government gained the technology for spacecraft after they, say, reversed engineered the crashed UFOs? Or did the aliens hand the information over?
It was kind of a combination of both.
So
actually, we have a 2-level space program. The one level is the public program, which is the primitive rocket program. And the second one is the top secret program, which involves all sorts of secret government-built UFOs and other related technologies. And their purpose, of course, is both interplanetary and interstellar travel. And they, of course, have had long periods, decades-long periods of contact with many governments or star nations or star empires from different parts of the near neighborhood of our planet. Mm-hmm. So actually, when the government says that UFOs don't exist, or that ETs don't exist, or that the whole process of saying that there is no technology shifting or anything, that's completely erroneous. There's a thing called the Disclosure Project of Stephen Greer, which is attempting to publicly explain to people the extent of the degree of energy technology, as well as propulsion and other things that could basically shift this planet into abundance very, very quickly. And so this, of course, is all part of a massive cover-up, because the economic powers that be do not want this, because it ends their control, because it suddenly creates a abundance, a contact with space, and it ends their ability to control and manipulate us. So the process right now is to break the cover-up and break the control and manipulation that has been going on for not only decades, but for generations and millennia.
Mm. But you're still describing some sort of interference, so that doesn't sound like a nuclear attack to have the governments manipulate the monetary systems and the shenanigans they do, tax and spend whatnot, or what they spend it on, or the interest rate or credit cards or mortgages. I mean, that's all human activity there. Why do they? That seems like it violates their own policy of non-interference.
Well, this is stuff that the people on this planet have put together. They're just telling them to go ahead, continue to go ahead, and they said that